All right, let's begin. Anyway, sorry about the bad about it disconnecting. The computer died. The Lord was not happy, I suppose. But we're starting right now, and thank you everyone who donated. Julia donated, and somebody donated 4.99 donation. So if I don't remember you, I'm just letting you know. Thank you for the donation. Okay. Um, I'm streaming on both ends, man. Both ends. All right, so let's begin this, man. So this chapter is about social intelligence, right? This is actually the chapter that inspired Robert Greene to write the laws of human nature. The chapter 5 of Mastery inspired Robert Greene to write the laws of human nature. So it was because a lot of people found it interesting what he said. Okay, so let's begin. It says, "See people as they are, social intelligence." Now, in the context of this book, social intelligence talks about how when you are somebody who wants to pursue mastery or a successful career, sometimes your skills are not enough. Your skills are not enough to your skills are not enough to get you by in the world. They're just not enough. And you want to know why? It's because a lot of the time people who are good at things, people who are naturally talented, they sort of lack a level of social intelligence. For example, people who are really good at something, or who are really good looking, or who are talented, they never experience jealousy. So they inadvertently create jealousy in those around them. The reason why they create it is because they don't understand that other people could feel jealous because they never felt it, right? And as a result, people in their lives will sabotage them, right? So it's kind of like you can have a lot of talent, but if you don't have social intelligence along with your talent, you're going to be used, you're going to be betrayed, and you're going to have a lot of wolves around you dressed as sheep. You know what I'm saying? So social intelligence is very important when you're trying to master anything. And you want to know why? It's because if you're not socially intelligent, you're going to create conflict. You're going to create unnecessary conflict in your life that will distract you from practice, that will distract you from your creative work. Rather than trying to focus on your work, you'll be in the middle of political turmoil. Everyone around you doesn't like you. Everyone around you is trying to sabotage you, right? And they'll do it in secret ways because jealous people operate in silence. And so you have people creating a bunch of barriers in your life, all because you lack social intelligence, all because you're not aware of how you're of the kind of jealousy you're creating. So this chapter is all about that, right? And we're going to have two different sections for this chapter because this is a long chapter. So it says, often the greatest obstacles to our pursuit of mastery comes from the emotional drain we experience in dealing with the resistance and manipulations of those around us. If we're not careful, our minds become absorbed in endless political intrigues and battles. The principal problem we face in the social arena is our naive tendency to project onto other people our emotional needs and desires of the moment. We misread their intentions and react in ways that causes confusion and conflict. Social intelligence is the ability to see people in the most realistic light possible. By moving past our self absorption, we can learn to focus deeply on others, reading their behaviors in the moment, seeing what motivates them, and discerning any possible manipulative tendencies. Navigating smoothly in social environment, we have more time and energy to focus on learning and acquiring skills. Success attained without this intelligence is not true mastery and will not last. All right. And this is very important for younger people because younger people tend to be the dumbest ones, especially if you're young and talented. Because this is the thing: when you become successful, that's half of the problem. Because once you become successful, there's gonna be a lot of vultures around you trying to eat at your success, right? Trying to freeload off of you. They really hate you, but they want something from you. And if you're not socially intelligent, you're gonna assume that all of those people have good intentions, and so you'll be backstabbed by the people who are closest to you. So it's important to be able to differentiate those kind of people. People who are there for the good of you, and people who are there secretly to sabotage you because they envy you. All right, so it goes like this, right? I'm gonna read some of my notes, right? Because we gotta follow my notes. We develop the ability of understand what's going on inside of his head through the development of mirror neurons in order to understand complex social groupings. All of this was at a pre-verbal level. You see, naturally, as humans, before we developed the ability to create language, how did we communicate? Back then, we communicated through nonverbals, right? Back then, the older humans, before we developed our prefrontal cortex, our ability to rationalize and create language, we had another form of intelligence that was more pre-verbal. It was more primal. It was like it was more it was more about reading people's nonverbal than reading people through their verbal words, if that makes any sense. So humans back in the days, older humans, back in, original humans, we can say that they had a higher form of social intelligence, not because they had rational intelligence, but because they were able to read people better, because they didn't have their thoughts interrupting their natural ability to read people, because reading people cannot be done through your rational thoughts. They cannot be done. It has to be more visceral than anything else. Right? And the way that we develop this ability is through mirror neurons, right? Our mirror neurons allow us to imagine how people feel. That's why we humans can watch porn and jack off through porn, because we can imagine what that person feels. You see what I'm saying? That's why you're able to, if you see somebody's hand being touched, our mirror neurons also make sort of like creates that sort of like, for example, if you see somebody being punched, you go like, ooh. You want to know why you go like, ooh? It's because of the mirror neurons. When you see somebody crying, you sort of cry because you have those mirror neurons. You sort of feel the pain, unless it's a kid, and if he's crying in the streets because his mama took his candy, I'll be laughing and shit. But as we develop language and rational thinking, our empathetic ability expanded to become more multidimensional. We're able to analyze the pre-verbal information and use it to understand people's motives and analyze it and predict future actions. This comes from our empathic ability, right? So before we developed our rational thought, we were only able to read people. We were only able to communicate to people. But when we developed our rational minds, our ability to create language, our ability to create fiction, what doesn't exist, we then were able to not just read people, but also predict what they're going to do, understand the strengths and weaknesses. So we have this machine, which is more pre-verbal, that allows us to take information in, and then we develop this machine, our prefrontal cortex, to sort of process this information and sort of predict what's going to happen, or sort of attribute it to this person's character, and sort of have a database for each individual person, right? So our rational, our original mind is able to sort of take it in. Our higher level thinking, our rational mind is able to organize it and sort of predict what's going to happen. Does that make any sense? I know, this is a little complicated. Sometimes I don't make sense when I talk, but trust me, it's going to get good after this. Right? So we're able to analyze the pre-verbal information and use it to understand people's motives and analyze it. But if you're not in touch with your primal abilities to read people, because you're so far into your rational thought, you're so into your own insecurities, you're always thinking, you're not able to stop your thoughts. What's going to happen is that you're not going to be able to take in information, real raw information. The raw files, the raw information comes from the pre-verbal abilities to read people. If you're not in touch with that, you're never going to be able to read people, because all you're going to be basing your information on external things that are not pre-verbal. You're just going to be reading people's words. You're not going to be reading when people say, hey, I'm happy to see you. You're going to be reading people's, I'm happy to see. You're going to be reading the words, I'm happy to see you, but you're not going to be reading the, I'm happy to see you. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like the rational, the rational thought, the rational mind, like sort of like the rational mind, what it does, it organizes information, but what receives the real information is your awareness, your sort of pre-verbal ability to read people, if that makes any sense. Your energy. People say energy, yeah. All right. And so this, we call it our empathic abilities, right? Our empathic abilities is more primal than our rational ability, than our ability to create rational thoughts is more like the new way of thinking. But our real way of thinking is through empathetic. It's more empathy. There's no words behind empathy. It's more of a feeling, if you really notice. Right? But the problem is that because of developing language, we have not used this ability because we depend more on language than anything else. So we don't use our abilities, right? And as a result, we have a cloud of emotions that we have a cloud of emotion that clouds our thinking. We're not able to really see the person. But as children, though, right? Let's keep reading. As children, we had to be dependent on our parents to survive. You see, the human brain needs a long time to develop, unlike other animals, right? If we weren't dependent on our parents, right, then that wouldn't happen as efficiently. Sorry, I'm reading my notes, man, so I gotta keep reading this. All right. So it says, but that comes at a cost. We saw our parents as stronger than they really were and developed blind spots, right? As children, when we're children, we sort of have to imagine that our parents are more powerful than they appear to be, right? Because when we don't, we'll sort of feel helpless. That's why when you're a child, you don't really see your parents' weaknesses. But what tends to happen, though, is that because of this ability, because of our exaggerations of our parents' strength, right, and our decision to not see their weaknesses, we develop blind spots, right? We don't see their weaknesses. Okay, we ignore the weaknesses. We see them through the lenses of our needs. We need them in order to survive, and as a result, we have to fully believe that they are all powerful in order for us to not die out of stress, right? In order for us to not feel vulnerable. When our dad holds us, we feel like our dad's not me. I don't have a father. We feel like our dad is like the strongest person in the world, right? And that allows us to feel rested. That allows us to bond with them. But if we don't feel that our dads has our backs, we won't really bond with them as much. So as a result, we have to have those blind spots, or else we'll go crazy, right? But this mentality, though, for some people never get out of this mentality. Of this mentality of only seeing one part in people. Some people never grow out of it. Such people whom we see, but this mentality continues in other people in our lives, right? So, for example, this inability to see people for who they are, to see people of higher authority, because when we're children, our parents are the ultimate authority, right? So that thinking of not being able to see people who are above us for who they are also becomes part of our daily lives as adults. So that means people who are superior to us, our bosses, our girlfriends, our friends, people who we think are better than them, we aren't able to really see them because we have brought our naive perspective from our childhood into our adult life. We weren't never really able to grow out of that like laser focused thinking, if that makes any sense. I'm trying to I'm sorry if it doesn't make any sense, people. We see them through the fog of emotions, so we either admire them or we hate them. So our superiors, right, we tend to see them from a place of need, right, because we depend on them. You see what I'm saying? So you either begin to admire them to the point where you don't think you'll be able to be like them, or you grow to detest them. But as we get older, right, we see the people whom we once admired, we see them as though we see their flaws. And as a result, we resent the fact that we see their flaws. And that causes us to get emotional and then exaggerate their flaws, right? So it's like we're with our mothers and fathers. When we were children, we weren't really able to see their flaws. You know what I'm saying? We only saw them as perfect beings. But as we grew up, we were able to then see their flaws. But what happened is always that when we see their flaws, we feel deceived. We feel like we were lied to. So as a result, we develop this kind of hatred because and through this hatred, we sort of exaggerate their negative flaws. Does that make sense? Right? This type of thinking of seeing the world through our needs is the naive perspective, right? Understand that when we exaggerate people's positive and negative traits, we're seeing it because it's a reaction to our needs. If I feel really needy, if I feel like I need a girlfriend really badly, and you present to me the opportunity, I will ignore your negative flaws because I need you to be that perfect woman to me. I'll sort of lie to myself, right? That's what most people do, right? This naive perspective is in every single one of us, in every single one of us, right? Our inability to see who they are because of our emotional needs, right? Somebody is abusing you, you won't even see the fact they're abusing you because you're so fucking needy for their validation that you don't even see it yourself. This childish perspective blinds us, which causes deep pain when our bubble is busted. So when somebody hurts you or betrays us, we don't see it coming. We don't see betrayal coming. We don't see their hatred coming, right? Because we're in a dream of perfection. We see more, we see more easily deceived because we assume people are here to help us. We're so needy for validation that the thought that people could hurt you doesn't even come to mind, because you sort of have a confirmation bias that people are good, that people will never hurt you, not because you're rational, but because you want it to be true so badly that you reject every evidence, every evidence that contradicts what you believe. You'll just shun it away, because by believing that people are bad, that'll make you feel vulnerable. You feel helpless because you don't have the tools to combat people's Machiavellian traits, if that makes any sense. That's a childish thinking. That's because you haven't matured out of that kind of mentality, and that's why you're not able to read people, because you're trying to fit people into a certain box. Everyone is good and everyone is bad. So when you think that everyone is bad, you just assume that everyone has bad intentions. So you'll never really connect with people because you're only seeing people through a squinted gaze of a fog of emotion. When you think that people are good and have good intentions towards you, you'll ignore all of the negative traits because you don't want to believe that people could be evil. And that's the problem that people have when they watch my channel, is that they feel that conflict between, holy shit, this guy is saying truth, but at the same time, I don't want it to be true. Why does dating have to be so fucked up? That's the reality of shit, motherfucker. That's how things are, you know? 1 second. One second, ladies. I've got to connect this to the charger. How else this is going to die? I don't want it to die. I do not want my computer to die again, my friend. So I gotta connect this to the right, because it's gonna lose connection. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna lose connection. All right, let's keep going. Right? So when people hurt or betray us, we don't see it coming because we assume that the world is perfect, or we assume that everyone's horrible, right? Because as a child, when your parents betray you and you feel vulnerable, you're gonna be afraid. So as a result, you're gonna see fear everywhere. So you won't be able to see the good in people because you assume that everyone will hurt you because you don't want to feel that pain. Right? So the naive perspective is your inability to see the good and the bad in people, the good intentions versus the bad intention. In other words, you have no social intelligence. You're socially stupid and retarded, right? When attacked, we are shocked and stunned, resulting in us getting emotional and causing us to get locked up in our way of thinking. That's what happens when people get cheated on. It's shocking when it happens to you because you thought it'll never happen to you. The attack causes us to look inward and make things personal. We don't get a clear picture because we're so focused on ourselves. We don't have the time to think of why they did this or that and understand their perspective because the pain is too much. We aren't able to say, we don't have the time to think and say, why, what caused this, right? The only thing we do is we just think of, oh me, oh me, oh me. It hurts so much that you're not able to let go and get into the person's mind. We're not able to let go and be able to use our empathic ability and see what's going on in the other person's mind. You fail to read people properly because your unrealistic expectation of people and your inability to handle pain. So we try to change our thinking through our lenses, and we notice that we experience resistance. The problem is that this perspective causes you to see people through your own desires. You think they want what you want, almost like men trying to bang women, right? You're so in pain. You have so many needs that come from pain that you assume that everyone wants what you want, right? That you begin to project your own pain onto people. They think they want that, right? Your emotional perspective causes your empathic powers to be rendered useless. Thank you, AM, for the 4.99 donation, right? Your emotional response to people puts your empathic power almost like it's useless. And that's a vulnerable human, a person who's not able to empathetically read people. This creates a lot of problems that in our lives that distract us from our purpose. The emotion that are used for your purpose are given to the problems you create because of your inability to read people. So rather than putting all of your energy to your purpose in life, to your path towards mastery, these problems will force you to focus on the problems will force you to focus on things that are not on your purpose. It's almost like let's say you're the president and you say something stupid on TV, right? So now everyone's focusing on the stupid shit that you said. And now that all of the news networks are talking about the stupid shit that you said, and now you're distracted, you can't really focus on what you got to do as president, as an example, right? But if you're a socially intelligent president and you know how to use your words, there's going to be a minimum of conflict in the news against you. That would mean there's more energy towards being more of a president, if that makes any sense, right? I'm hoping I'm making sense. You see, the childish charm don't work on people anymore, right? You know that charm that we had as children, right? It don't work when we're adults. And that's what you see a lot when people who go into new workplaces, they think they gotta be charming. They think being polite and being friendly and smiling, right, will gain people's favor. And you wonder why people do that? It's because it comes from their childhood. Their parents taught them that being charming and nice and a good girl will gain people's validation. What it does is that it makes people see you as naive. It sets you up for failure because people will see that niceness as weakness. And you can assume that people will react positively to your niceness. And then when you get betrayed or fired unexpectedly, it shocks you to the core. When in reality, it was because of your inability to read people. It's because you were in love with your own nature. You were in love with yourself so much that you weren't able to realize how stupid you look trying to make everyone like you at work. How stupid you look trying to be everybody's motherfucking friends. You don't have you seem childish because charm don't work on people. It's based on your own narcissism and your love for your own words. You don't assume that people are out there trying to get you, so you easily manipulate it and take things personal. You don't have the space to say, why did I cause this? You don't have the space to say, how did my action cause this? Rather, you're so inept. You're so unable to read people that you blame them. You say they're just evil. You say they're just bad people. And you don't even see how you had a cause in this because you're playing the victim. Don't get so angry, Alexis. Don't get so angry. So take your time and think deeply about what others lack in their lives and how they see the world. Learn to see how other people see the world. Always ask yourself, how does it feel to be them, right? Always ask yourself, what does he need? What makes this person different? Because we're so self-consumed with ourselves that we miss opportunities to influence people because we're not looking for those opportunities. Being socially intelligent is all about understanding that your perspective of people is colored and blinded by your own perspective. So when things go wrong, notice how you didn't understand people. When you get an unexpected result, ask yourself, what didn't I read? What did I miss? Where was my mistake? When somebody hurts you, cheats on you, whatever the fuck it is, always ask yourself, how did I have something to do with it? Because most of the time when we get played like a fucking like an idiot, we always blame them. Men are bad, women are bitches. But we never ask ourselves, what did I do wrong to cause this? What did I do wrong to get fired? And it is not blaming the victim. It is not blaming the victim. It is giving you the power to change that. And if you fail to do this, that's why you're stupid socially. If you fail to always take responsibility for whatever happens, it's why people who are social justice warriors, it's why they're stupid. It's why they're stupid. It's why people who blame racism for their lack of success, it's why they're stupid. Because they don't see how they have something to do with it. They don't want to take responsibility. They're children. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. Because everything in my life that I ever had, my lack of money, lack of women, lack of happiness, everything, I always blame myself. I always blame myself. Always blame myself. And all of my lections out there, I want you to develop that mentality. Always blame yourself. I don't give a fuck what happens. Ask yourself, what could I have done better? And the only exception is when somebody suicides themselves. When somebody kills themselves, it is not your fault. It is not your fault. Unless if somebody kills themselves and they blame you and they leave a letter blaming you, it is not your fault. That is the only exception. It is their responsibility to live. But everything else in life, always ask yourself, how did you do something wrong? What could you have done better? Don't take things personal and develop what Robert Greene calls supreme acceptance. See people's actions towards you with more humor and lightheartedness. Most of the time, people attacking you, they're not really attacking you. You're just an obstacle in the way. Do not take it personal, because by taking it personal, you'll get emotional. This will help you influence them by not taking things personal. You see what I'm saying? An example is like 50 Cent, right? You know how 50 Cent now is supporting Donald Trump, right? And the reason why he's supporting Donald Trump is because he doesn't have Trump derangement syndrome. He's able to control his emotions enough to work with his enemies. He's able to see things more. He's able to see things without looking at it through the lens of politics, right? Because when you're not able to, when you don't take things personal, you'll be able to work with your enemies. When you don't take things personal, you're more in control because you're more in control of your own emotions. But when you take everything personal, it means you're still seeing the world as in the naive perspective. When a woman flakes on you, when a man breaks up with you, when a man like cancels the date on you, you take it personal. Most of the time, it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. But you take it personal, and that's why you cannot get over it. So by observing people, two types of intelligence will arise in you, okay? By observing people, two types of intelligence will arise. One, a specific knowledge of human nature, right? This is the ability to understand people individually. Specific knowledge of human nature is the ability to see what makes somebody unique, what makes somebody different from everybody else, right? And then there's the other type of knowledge of human nature, and that's general knowledge of human nature. This is the ability to understand general human nature, what afflicts all of us, right? What triggers all of us. This ability is the ability to use the overall knowledge of individual and understand the collective minds, right? Understanding what influences everybody, understanding that everybody can be jealous, understanding that everybody has pain, understanding that everyone has self-interest. But then the specific knowledge of human nature is understanding my own specific needs. It's understanding what makes me unique. So you not only you don't just understand people individually, but you also understand people collectively. And by using both information, then you're able to then tailor a set of actions that will influence them in a way that's personal and profound, right? It will also allow you to sort of like for an example of general knowledge of human nature is like understanding that you should never outshine the master. If you have a boss and he's above you, never make him feel less than you in front of other people. Always give him credit, even though he didn't do it, right? But then you assume that, right? You assume that because that's how most bosses are. But then the specific knowledge of human nature is understanding what does he want, what are his goals, what triggers him, what makes him angry, what makes him happy. So you generally understand that you should never outshine the master. But then you understand the specific psychology of that specific individual. That is social intelligence, understanding people in general, but also understanding people on an individual basis, understanding how to run an army, but also having a feel of each of your soldiers' temperament, understanding the tactics of war and the strategies of war, but then understanding your enemy specifically, understanding what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, what are their goals, what are their fears. In order to attain that, you got to get out of your own head. You got to be able to think inside other people, and that's what we're going to be talking about next. Let me see if we have enough time. We're not going to have enough time. No. Nope. Holy shit, this is a long ass. This is the same chapter. You hear this? This is the same chapter. We're not gonna have time for this. We're gonna have 3 parts of this. Okay, we're gonna have 3 parts of this chapter because this is a really long chapter, and I have a date in like a few minutes. I'm not gonna. I don't know. I'm leaving this up on the Patreon. I'm gonna leave this up for like 3 days. So watch it, please. But the next, you see, there's this chapter, the laws of human nature. The last 3 chapters are some of the most profound things you will ever hear. Like the last three chapters are absolutely some of the most profound things I have ever read in my life. Right. So I want to finish this book with you guys this month. Actually, I want to finish it before December, because to me this is my favorite book. To be honest with you, it's my favorite book. I love this book. All right. So I want to get this done, and I'm hoping to get this done by the end of the next year. So we're gonna do all of this, and if you guys want to check out where I have all of this, we're gonna be having it. I upload this information on my I uploaded this information on the Greene Bookclub, which you could purchase it on the description down below. Okay. The last 3 chapters, let me read to you guys some of the things in the last 3 chapters, right? Let me show you. Because you guys are really going to like this, right? So the next chapter is called, I'm just going to read the introduction, is Awaken the Dimensional Mind, the Creative Active. Look what it says, right? It's fucking profound. As you accumulate more skills and internalize the rules that govern your field, your mind will want to become more active, seeking to use this knowledge in ways that are more suited to your inclination. What would impede this natural creative dynamic from flourishing is not a lack of talent, but your attitude. Feeling anxious and insecure, you would tend to turn conservative with your information, preferring to fit in the group and sticking to the procedures you have learned. Instead, you must force yourself in the opposite direction. As you emerge from your apprenticeship, you must become increasingly bold. Instead of feeling complacent about what you know, you must expand your knowledge to related fields, giving your mind fuel to make new associations between different ideas. You must experiment and look at the problems from all different angles. As your thinking grows more fluid, your mind will begin to become more increasingly dimensional, seeing more and more aspects of reality. In the end, you will turn against the very rules you have internalized, shaping and reforming them to suit your spirit. Such originality will bring you to the heights of power. Right? That's the other chapter. Let me show you the other 2 chapters. Such a good book, man. The other 2 chapters says, sorry about this. And they're long as fuck, man. I mean, these chapters are books. They're like They're long as fuck. Okay, and the other one is fusing the rational with the intuitive. Let me show you this one, 247. And it says, I'm glad you guys are here. I'm glad you guys like this, man. It says, fuse the intuitive with the rational. All of us have access to a higher form of intelligence, one that can allow us access to the world, to anticipate trends, to respond with speed and accuracy to any circumstance. This intelligence is cultivated by deeply immersing ourselves in a field of study and staying true to our inclinations, no matter how unconventional our approach might seem to others. Through such intense immersion over many years, we can come to internalize and gain an intuitive feel for the complicated components of our field. When we fuse this intuitive feel with the rational process, we expand our minds to the outer limits of our potential, and we are able to see secrets. We're able to see into the secrets of no, sorry. When we first fuse this intuitive field with a rational process, we expand our minds to the outer limits of our potential, and we are able to see into the secret core of life itself. We then come to have powers that approximate the instinctive force and speed of animals, but with the added reach that our human consciousness brings us. This power is what our brains were designed to attain, and we will be naturally led to this type of intelligence if we follow our inclinations to the ultimate end. Oh my God, this is incredible. I love this book. Such a beautiful book, man. Honestly, such a gorgeous book Robert Greene has created. Such a gorgeous book. It truly is, man. I mean, look at this, right? I've been reading this book for the past 3 or 4 years. Like, for the past 3 or 4 years, I've just been devouring this book, man. Devouring this book, man. It's just crazy. All right, my voice is dead right now. I was very excited to talk about this. My voice is dead. We're gonna do this tomorrow, and we're gonna do it again. And if you, yeah, all right. So I gotta rest my voice because I have a date in 30 minutes. Okay. Oh man, so I'm gonna try to do all three of them by the end of the week. I'm gonna do all three of them. So I'm hoping tomorrow I could do one, and then the next day I'm hoping to do one. Okay, and attend my New York City seminar, and I'll see you then. Okay, people, take care. Whew, wow, that was a lot. That was a lot, man. That was a lot. Man, holy shit. My voice is dead. Yeah, I can't be doing it at this time. Oh man. Let me see what they texted me. Oh man. Man, I gotta read more. Oh shit, it's still on.
Show Undisputed, we're just coming up right after us. So let's check in with Colin this morning.
Tom Brady's a baller. Is Aaron Rodgers a bailer? When the going gets tough, he opts out. Once again, a blowout loss for a team, Green Bay, that's way too talented.
Mano, hola, ¿cómo estás, güey? Oye, fíjate que estoy viendo, bueno, escuchando tus mensajes ahorita. Sí eran con miel, vienen así, porque se conservan a través del tiempo. Es un...
Bueno, eso pasa, pero eso pasa. Y yo solamente estaba diciendo porque yo lo encontré raro, pero está bien, porque la otra cosa que tú me diste estaba bien, pero, o sea, nada del mundo es perfecto, siempre algo va a pasar, pero, ¿sabes? Yo estaba curioso, por eso era que te dije, pero está bien, no te preocupes. Una pintura, o sea, mira, honestamente, yo no, mira, son dos opciones para mí. O yo o lo pinto de gratis o cobro mucho. O sea, yo no, es que, un ejemplo, para hacer una pintura de una persona cuesta $1,000 americanos, una pintura, ve, y yo no doy descuento. So, si yo no doy descuento, lo que hago es, o es precio completo, o es de gratis, uno de los dos, ¿ves? So, es $1,000 americanos, so, yo no sé, ¿me entiendes? So, yeah. You think I don't know you guys are watching me? I know you guys are watching me. Creeps. All you motherfuckers are creeps. All you. All 72 you guys are going to hell. Yeah, all you guys. Yeah, I know you guys are watching me. Yeah, I'm watching you guys. Yeah, of course. You thought I was going to talk shit or fart? Nah, motherfucker, I see you guys. All you guys, I see you. I wanted to see who would stay. That's why. So Juan is a chismoso. Amp is a chismoso. Aries is una chismosa. Natasha is chismosa. All you motherfuckers are chismosos. Yeah, you guys were like, oh my God, we're getting a sneak peek. Nah, nigga. nah. I was about to pray. I was about to say, I love all of my subscribers. Oh, man. Yeah, I hope they come out as mutant, Alex. Period. Like X-Men or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. All right, people. Chismoso gang. Yeah, I'm gonna call you guys the Chismoso gang. Now, if I like you guys are the faithful, the faithful, the 82 faithful ones. All right. Let me make sure my clothes are washed. Oh, nice. Holy shit. You want to get a house tour? Look, I'm gonna show you the. Oh fuck. Okay, I'm gonna show you the house tour. Right? Look, boom. Look, that's the living room right there. That's a room right there, and that's another room right there. Ah, man, this is your toxic dating coach. I like that toxic. I should make a t-shirt called the toxic dating coach. Man, I like that one. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Hee hee hee. But yeah, people, that retreat in Mexico, that's gonna be fun. We're gonna be doing ayahuasca, okay? We're gonna be doing ayahuasca in it. I already hit up a shaman who's gonna make it for me. So it's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be really, really fun. We're gonna do shrooms in the daytime, meditate on shrooms, ayahuasca in the nighttime, a seminar in the afternoon. So it's gonna be really, really good, man. I'm telling you, man. Those who want to come, you guys should fucking come. It's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be really fun. It's obviously an unconventional seminar, especially for a dating coach like me to be having my to be having a psychedelic retreat, but you got to stay true to yourself, you know. No, Aries. No, Aries. I came up with that word. I came up with the toxic dating coach. Okay, you didn't come up with that. I came up with that. The toxic dating coach. I said it myself. Trying to gain credit. Get the fuck out of here. I came up with that shit. And we taking credit for my word now. Yeah, it's because look, man, when I took DMT the other day, they told me, the DMT people, they told me, show people this world. They told me that shit. They were like, you don't have to take DMT anymore, but we want you to introduce other people to this dimension. You don't need to take DMT no more. But since you already know about this, show other people this world. That's what they told me. And now I just have this desire to just show people that, man. Like I just want people to see what's out there. That's all. You know, that's why I'm sort of like, you know, pushing it, you know. Too much Joe Rogan? Nah, man. I it's not too much Joe Rogan. I've been into that for a long time, but Joe Rogan does influence me. You know, who are the people I speak to? I don't know, man. It's entities. They speak to you. I don't know. I personally don't know. Um, they just speak to you, man. You know. They communicate to you telepathically. That's how they talk. You know, it's very telepathic, and that's how it's done. And it wasn't assault, you idiot. Period. She never once mentioned any of that stuff. Period. There's even footage of her saying nothing bad happened. Period. What a clown. Were you scared? No, no. Thank you, Reina, for the $5. No, I wasn't scared. I wasn't scared. DMT. I mean, it is scary, but you could deal with the pain. You know what I'm saying? Like you could deal with the pain. You could deal with the fear, with the horror. You know what I'm saying? But if you guys attend the fucking the retreat, man, it's gonna be so much fun, man. It's gonna be so much fun. I'm gonna be wrong. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited because I get to do what I usually do with myself. Um, I get to do what I usually do with myself and have people come. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, like we're gonna take DMT, we're gonna take shrooms and then meditate and then listen to and then talk about death. Have a few, listen to a few chapters on death actually. Um, because it just feels more real when you're on shrooms and talking about that. Everything feels heavy, like reality feels heavy, and that's what excites me. Nah, man, look, man. The thing is, the reason why I talk about death in the seminars is because when you're on shrooms, the topic of death becomes more profound. Is you sort of take it in more viscerally. You feel it in your body when you take it. You know, and that changes you forever. You're just transformed when you're able to get a glimpse of death itself. You come out differently. You see everything differently. You just do. That's why I want to show people that. No, of course, I am going to. People who attend cannot have any history of mental illnesses or family history of any kind of mental illness like schizophrenia. So it's kind of like if you attend, I'm definitely gonna ask you if you have any mental if your family has any history of of psychosis or any kind of mental illness, bipolar, because it could activate shit that you don't want to activate. So you got to make sure that your mental health history is checked. I'm not a psychologist. I'm going back to school for that. I'm actually going back to school for psychology, but we got to make sure that you're not, shit is not going on the side. It's gonna be in February, late February. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to change. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was fun, right? If you guys need one-on-one coaching, you guys will know where to go, and become the Mindful Attraction Gang. And yeah, man. All right, man. Peace out. Whew, man. That was a lot, man. I hate them so much, man. Man, these goddamn subscribers, man. I hate them so much, man. Man, I wish I could have other subscribers, man. Damn, and I hate them, man. They annoy me so much. Hate them all. Hate them. Hate them. Man, it's crazy, man, how much hate I have for them. I'm kidding with you guys. I don't hate you guys. Nah. Like, oh my God, he hates us. Nah. I don't hate you guys too much. Don't worry. It's not a lot of hate. Get me wrong, some of you guys definitely call up and troll me. So I know you guys, but outside of the trolls, I don't have any hate in my heart. All right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, for real, man. You guys have a good day, man. And I'll see you. Let me see if they have hate. I love them more. Yeah, that's kind of, it is kind of true. All right. Well,